I wanted to come on today to talk about some things that's been on my heart lately. I wanted to share about what to do when you love someone, including family, that has suddenly become distant. So, guys, cut this hair off. So, guys, I recently, I'm gonna say maybe about a month and a half ago, I reached out to a cousin of mine. We had not been connected with one another for like maybe 3 years, a little bit after COVID in 2020. So I'm going to say possibly 2022, we stopped for whatever reason. We stopped talking. We stopped talking to each other on the phone, messaging, all of that. And prior to that, we've grown up together like sisters. Okay, we grew up like sisters because our older siblings we just couldn't connect with. Sometimes we have older siblings that do the most. They want to be in charge. They overstep their boundaries when growing up. Some of you may understand what I mean, and it's just like you're just not clicking. You know what I mean? So we connected like sisters, and we did so many firsts in life, driving around the same time for the first time, having our children around the same times. We were just really close growing up, and as we got older, we just stopped connecting on certain levels. Ooh, I'm stuttering. On certain levels, we just stopped connecting, right? So I said, this was like really the third time that this happened when we stopped connecting and talking to one another. So I said, you know what, let me reach out and let me see if it's something that we could try to resolve. So about a month and a half ago, I reached out to her. I just up on a Saturday morning, I was in my room, I woke up chilling, watching TV, and I gave her a call. I FaceTimed her, actually. And by the look on her face, I could tell she was very surprised, but welcoming. So we started talking. We didn't go back over what happened, but we just kind of picked up where we left off and, started talking. And we reconnected, and everything felt normal again. I knew, and I did speak this to her, or say this to her initially, in our first, several conversations. I said, cuz look, I really believe we need to kind of figure out what's going on, because this is the third time this has happened in our adult lives. And, I think it would be a hard conversation, but a necessary conversation. We need to know what's going on, and I said, later on in a while, when you're ready, I would like to revisit what possibly happened. And I said, I want to do a check-in with you. I want to check in to see if it's something that I'm saying to you that makes you feel uncomfortable. Is it something that I'm doing maybe that I don't know that I'm doing? And I want you to share that with me. So I'm going to do a check-in. So that was that. This is in the beginning when I reached out to her, because we were that tight. We have a vibe like, some people just really connect. Even some of you may know, you can really connect with a cousin like she's your sister. You're just close and you share, you bounce ideas off of each other. So I noticed the last couple of weeks that I didn't hear from her. And that's fine, because she's busy, I'm busy. But when we did speak to one another, it was very short and to the point. Energy is everything. And so it would be a week and a half, I wouldn't hear from her. And, I don't have a problem with the fact that, some things may have changed. But I feel like since we are, in our 50s, we're old enough to know now, hey, if something is bothering you, express it, say it. About a week and a half ago, I reached out to her and we were on the phone, and I said, hey, cuz, I said, you remember in the beginning when I reached out to you, I mentioned that I wanted to do a check-in. I wanted to see if there's anything that I may have done or something that we need to fix so that this won't happen again. I said, you remember when I brought that up when I first reached out? She goes, yeah. I said, well, do you think this might be time for us to try to figure out what's going on, because at this point of our lives, and many of you know, since COVID, we've lost a lot of family, we've lost a lot of friends, we've lost a lot of our elders, people in our lives. It took a lot of people out of here. And in the climate that we're living in, I value friendship. I've always valued friendship. And when you invest in friendship and you have people's best interest at heart, you want to just kind of fix it if it can be fixed. So I said, hey, do you think there's anything that, I'm doing or saying or anything like that? She goes, no, just because I'm busy doesn't mean that, I don't want to connect. I just got a lot of things going on. And her response was very vague. It was very inauthentic. It felt distant. It was different. Like I said, energy is everything. From previously, a few weeks ago until now, I could tell some type of a shift in her behavior when we would talk on the phone. Her attitude when we would talk, her demeanor when we would talk was just different. And so what I did was I said, okay. I said, well, what do you think about, us, trying to fix that? And she goes, well, I don't think we can fix it unless we have a counselor. And I was like, wow. I said, really? A counselor? I said, you think we need a counselor? And I'm not against that, but it touched me to where it's that deep for her that she thinks we need to go to counseling. I was like, wow. And so I'm simply thinking it's a surface thing. Maybe I'm over talking you. Maybe I'm not listening, but it was deep enough for her to say, I don't think we could, fix it without a counselor. And I was like, okay. So I noted it in my head. And then I go, okay. I said, well, keep in mind, I want to keep this going. I don't want us to become distant again. Life is too short, this, that, and the third. And so she said, well, I don't want to mess up, what we got going on. We vibing and we chilling. And so when she said that, it made me think like she does not really want to deal with what I feel is bothering her. Growing up, sometimes people, when you are very, what's the word? When you're very driven, when you've accomplished some things, when you are so proud of your accomplishment and you want to share that with others and possibly share to the point where you're helping them, that I don't want to feel like I have to, diminish myself because you're going to feel a certain type of way if I'm, happy about what I've accomplished. And I've noticed that as well in retrospect. She doesn't know how to open up. She doesn't know how to express herself. And I said, you know what? This is not an us problem. Although I'm willing to, if there's something that is bothering someone, I'm willing to modify my behavior in order to support, my loved one, my friend, my cousin, my sister, whoever. But I'm not going to diminish myself. So I noticed that when we would be on the phone, I can't talk about, my husband and I, we purchased a new home. I know that it would bother her when I would just say simple things like, girl, I'm so overworked. I need a vacation. Let me get on this computer and try to find something. Well, girl, let me call you back. You busy? No, I'm not busy. We can still talk. Oh, if I say, I was out with my daughter, we'll go shopping and say, we found I saw this cute purse and this, that, and the third. And, oh, well, you know what? Really? And she would just try to get out of the call. If I'm, it just felt like every time I would mention an accomplishment or something, and it was few and far between, but it's just part of a conversation of girlfriend talk. I want to talk about things about how to prosper. And if you know of anything that can help me better myself, tell me. If I can share anything that's going to better you, I want someone on the receiving end to say, hey, yeah, girl, tell me. I don't want to feel like everything that I'm about in life, it bothers you. You know, I want high-end friendship. I don't want what they call low vibrational people around me. You know, I don't want to have to just not express what I want in life because you're going to feel some type of way. And you know what? It's really hurtful. It hurts that I had to make a decision like, you know what? This is not about me. This is not about me. If I'm coming to you and I'm with an open heart and saying, hey, let's fix this. What's going on? Is there anything that I'm doing? That's adulting. That's taking responsibility to something that could be, you know, on my end, contributing to, you know, the distance. If I'm trying to take ownership, trying to take accountability to something that I may be doing, and you're not going to grasp that I'm reaching out, then that's no longer a we problem, not even a me problem. That's on her. And it really made me sad, guys, because that's like my sister. It's just clear that she's being distant, and I have to respect the way she wants, the way she is, the way that it is, you know, and I can't internalize that, which I had previously done in our other couple of stints of distance. So, but I wanted to say, you know what, if people react in that way where they can't own up to their feelings, they can't open up to the point, you know, your relationship is supposed to be so good and so connected, but you can't tell me what's bothering you. And then when you do respond or you converse with me, it's, you know, cut and dry as if I'm an inconvenience. I don't want that. I do not want inauthenticity in this stage in my life. I just don't need it. I want genuine connection with friends and family. And I'm like, if you can't offer me that, I'm not going to sit up here like my hand is begging, please, please love me, please connect with me. No, I am learning in this stage to just walk alone. I have to walk alone until God brings me that friendship that I seek, which is genuine friendship. Even with friendships you've had from back in the day, sometimes people change, and change is good, but if it's not changing for the better in this climate, shake it off. Walk alone. If you got to do some, you know, solo trips to make yourself feel better, whatever it is, you'll be fine. You will be fine. Just keep waiting on it. Just keep waiting on it. It'll come. So guys, I'm not going to hold you. I hope this video is not too long. But if you enjoyed this content today, give me a like and give me a share. Maybe somebody might be, you know, comforted by this message today, because in this climate, we need connection. It's all of this technology we got going on with, you know, the internet and texting. Sometimes there is a need for genuine connection. Not even sometimes, all the time. We need genuine connection. You know, we can't be faking the funk like we used to say when I was a kid. It's time for genuine connection. We do not have time to waste time with inauthenticity. We don't have time for that. Life is too short. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.